Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're doing well today and ready for this mindful movement session. If you are returning from your first week last week, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed it enough to, well, if you're back, then hopefully that means you did enjoy it enough. But welcome in anyway, and let's get ready for this session. As always, do the best you can. If that means you need to take any rest breaks, if you need to adjust any movements or whatever it is that you need to do to make this session more suitable for yourself, feel free to do it. This is just me guiding you here to the best of my ability. If you've got your camera on, that does really help me to visualize what you guys are doing and to make those adjustments, but don't feel like you have to have it on. That is an option for yourself. As always, make sure you've got a drink as well nearby. Even though this is a light, easy session, it's always handy to have some hydration to make sure everything flows nicely. Talk about flowing nicely, let's move into the session itself. Get yourself in a nice, comfortable position, and let's just do some nice deep breathing to begin here, going in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just relax down. Keep that breathing going, and at some point over the next couple of breaths, let's close down those eyes and bring that focus inwards. Just nice, slow, deep breathing here. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and just focus on the breathing in and the breathing out. Notice how your lungs fill up as you breathe in. You almost sit up a little bit straighter with your posture as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, notice how the shoulders relax down as you almost curl forwards a little bit. And just notice the breathing. As we tend to focus on the breathing here, the world around us sort of naturally starts to be blocked out because we're having all that focus being put onto how we're breathing in and how we're breathing out. Our mind is very, very good at focusing on things. To give you an example, if I said don't think of a pink elephant, you would think of a pink elephant. So rather than saying don't think about what's going on around you, we say focus on one specific thing, and then that helps to block out everything around us. So instead of not thinking about something, we think about focusing on one particular thing, and that is our breath in this moment. And that's what helps us to relax and calm down. Now we're in this much more relaxed state. Let's thank ourselves for being here today. As we always say at the beginning of these sessions, sometimes the hardest thing is just turning up in the first place, especially for those of us with mobility issues, etc. It's just great that we'll be able to be here together, and over the next hour, reminding ourselves that we should remain focused on the task at hand. Whether it's the breathing, the mobility, yoga work, whatever it may be that we're doing, to stay present in the moment. And if any time you find your mind wandering, you just bring it back in line and focus on the task at hand again. Keep the breathing going, and when you're ready to sit up nice and tall, you can keep the eyes closed for now, but just sitting up as tall as you can. And as you breathe in, I want you almost to imagine you've got a piece of string pulling you up through your neck to the ceiling. And as you breathe out, that string almost relaxes off and you relax down into where you are. And just go between the two there. Breathe in, pulling you up nice and straight. Breathe out, relax down. You can start to slowly open your eyes and we'll move into some of our mobility stuff. Starting with, as we breathe in, we're going to shrug those shoulders up, give them a squeeze, and as we breathe out, we're going to relax them down again. Nice work. Just keep going through that. Breathe in, shrug up, really squeeze those shoulders at the top. And as you breathe out, relax it down. You can almost try and push your shoulders down as you breathe out as well. Good work. Instead of going up and down with these shrugs, we're going to bring those shoulders back behind us, squeezing those shoulder blades, and then push them forwards as we breathe out. Squeeze those shoulder blades together as you're breathing in, breathing out, push those shoulders forwards, repeating through. And we're just pumping those muscles, sending blood, which sends oxygen to them. That's preparing them more for what we got in store coming up. Good, let's go into some shoulder rotations now. Doesn't matter which direction you go because we're swapping a minute. We're just getting them going around. Nice, easy range of motion here. Nice work. And let's change direction and go the opposite way. Just nice, easy circles there. Good. Well, let's continue that circling theme, but now we're going to bring our elbows into a little bit. So bring the hands up onto around about our shoulders. They don't need to be locked in place. And we just trace circles round with our elbows. Now you've got a few options here. You can do both together. Or if you need to, for balance reasons or whatever reason, you can do alternating arms. Or if you just prefer to do that as well, that's also an option. Or if you need to, you can do it single arm. You could do a couple on one side and a couple on the other, doing what you need to do to get these going around to the best of your ability. If you do them both together, you tend to get a little bit more stretch through the chest. If you do them alternate, you get a little bit of a spinal wiggle in there at the same time. So they offer slight variations, but the main focus here is getting those elbows going around to mobilize those shoulders nicely. Whichever direction you're going, let's swap and go the opposite now. work. Let's ease it off a little bit there, and then let's move into the next part here. We're just going to do some nice deep breathing again. But as we breathe in, we're going to bring the hands up, rotate them at the top, and then push down as you breathe out. The speed of this is all determined from your breath. So however long it takes you to breathe in, that's how long it takes you to raise your arms. However long it takes you to breathe out, that's how long it takes you to go down. So the breath is leading the movement and the arms are following it. Good. Bring those hands up into a prayer position. We're going to continue the breathing, but at your own pace. Just make sure it's still some nice deep breathing, but we're just going to go up with the hands. Now normally we'd go apart, but we're just going to come straight back down again. So it's just coming down and then going up. And just breathe in a normal, natural motion here, but just keep it a little bit deep. You don't need to follow it with it here. Just nice, easy movements, keeping those palms together, raising those arms up the best you can, even if that's only to like your head or your chin or your chest, wherever you can bring those arms up together. That is fantastic. If you want to take it a little bit further, try and keep those elbows as close together as you go up. You get a little bit more of a stretch in the back as you do so. Good work. Keep that going there. Just going to move myself slightly. And now as we come up, we're going to open up, out, and around. Back to the beginning. Coming up through the middle, up, out, and around. Good work. Let's reverse it now. So we're going to come down, out and around to the top, and then down through the middle. And again on this, doing the best range of motion you can, even if it's a smaller range of motion, that's absolutely fine. As long as that's the best that you can do. That's all that we can ask from you. Good work bringing that down. Yeah, let's just have a quick hydration break. Then we're going to go into our neck and spinal mobility next. Good, so let's refocus ourselves with some nice deep breathing again, going in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then when you're ready to, let's go into our neck mobility. Start with just looking up and down, flexion, extension, nice easy movements here. It's not about how far you can take this range of motion, it's just about doing the movement. So just bring the chin down onto the chest, curling forwards, looking up towards the sky, going back and forth between the two. Good. Well, the next time you find yourself looking down, let's hold that position and let gravity take over a little bit. If you want to assist it a little bit, just pull that chin in. And you'll notice your neck curls over just a little bit more as you do that. And also in this position, we could keep our chin tucked in and we can just rock side to side slightly. You'll probably feel as you go to one side in particular, you'll feel a little bit more of a stretch. Feel free to sit in any position there that you find is a good stretch. Just breathe into anything as well. This is really up to you how you want to move or be static or hold any position, whatever it may be. And let's ease out of that there. Going into some looking up and down again. Flexion and extension. And the next time you find yourself going into the up position, first of all, let's start by looking forwards. Place the hand on the top of the sternum there, and then look upwards, keeping the mouth closed. Feeling that stretch through the front. I'll repeat that again. So we start by looking forwards, place one hand on top of the sternum. That's going to sort of hold the muscles and the skin in place there. Keep the mouth closed. And look up, and as you do so, you feel that stretch through the front of the neck. Nice. Feel free to restart it if you need to. You can start back down from the beginning and move into position. And then when you're up there as well, you can have a play around by rocking side to side. As long as you're not causing yourself any pain, there's no real rules here. Just go with what feels like you need to do. If you want to feel more of a stretch in a certain position, feel free to do so. I know for myself, if I look up and then rock slightly to the left, that right side underneath the jaw just feels just that little bit tighter. So just doing this is going to help ease with that discomfort. Good work. Let's ease out of that now, looking up and down. And then let's go into some rotation, looking one side, looking to the other, going back and forth between the two. Keep the breathing going as you're doing this. Just nice, easy rotations, mobilizing that spine through this range of motion. Good work. The next time you find yourself looking to the left, we're going to hold it there. But we start by looking forwards. We bring our left hand onto our right collarbone. So before we had it on the sternum, we just move it over to the right slightly, and then rotate into it. And we should feel a stretch. I'm going to repeat that again, just so in case you need to know it. So we start by looking forwards. Place our left hand on our right collarbone, and then rotate the left round. So rotate the head round to the left. And then holding that position there, and we should feel a bit of a stretch through that right side of the neck there. Again, in this position we can have a play around, so we can do some looking up and down. And you'll probably feel, especially as you look up, more of a stretch. But it also sort of slightly shifts the focus area. And then ease out of it. Let's go back to looking left and right. And the next time you find yourself looking to the right, again we start by looking forwards. We place our right hand on top of our left collarbone, rotate round to the right, and you should feel that stretch there. And then again we can take a little bit further if you want to just do some looking up and down, find some different positions that work for you. Good work, ease out of it. A few more looking left and right to do so. And then let's go into our lateral flexion, bringing the ear towards the shoulder, one side and the other. Just nice, easy movements. As always, this one is probably feeling more tight on this. And as you know from previous sessions, tightness is usually because of weakness in the muscles, and that's just because we don't use these that often to do this movement. But even just doing it, our head is quite heavy, so just mobilizing is doing some resistance training as well in our neck here. Just going against gravity. So this is helping to alleviate that slightly as well. Just nice, easy movements, one side and the other. Keep the breathing going nice and naturally. Good. The next time you find your left ear towards your left shoulder, we're going to hold it there. And you probably already feel a bit of a stretch there as you do so. So if that's fine for you, that you can just hold it there. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can take that right arm and drop it down. So that's the left ear to the left shoulder, so the right arm comes down, putting that shoulder down. Or you can bring that arm behind you as well. So there's your three options. Either rest it on the lap, but bring that shoulder down. Drop the arm down by the side for a little bit more of a stretch, or bring it behind you there for a slightly different stretch in this area on that right side. Good work. Let's ease out of it. Do a couple of lefts and rights. And then the same on the other side. So bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Open up that left side. Either hand on the lap, hand down by your side, or hand behind you. And just feel that stretch down that side there. Good, ease out of it. Do a couple of lefts and rights. Nice work. I just want to explain, like, when we're doing all these movements and stretches, a lot of it here is in the front. If you ever see a diagram of all like the muscles in the neck, you see them coming like right the way from out here up to the jawline, like they're all in different directions. So that's why they're the muscles that move our neck in different ways. So it's important to stretch and mobilize it in all the positions that it's capable of doing. We're just going to do one more little thing in our neck before we move into the rest of our spine. It's a little bit of a mobility thing just to ease out of that last bit. I want you to almost imagine you've got like a piece of paper or a canvas in front of you, and you've got a pencil or a paintbrush on the end of your nose, and I want you to just draw a spiral on it with your nose, and then we do it smaller, and then we come in, so we go out to a bigger spiral, back into the middle, and then we'll change direction once we're back into the middle. So just, again, imagine you got a paintbrush, pencil, whatever it is on the front of your nose, and you just go draw a spiral on the canvas in front of you, and just slowly getting bigger and bigger. Just nice, easy movements here. And they don't need to be fast either. Don't make yourself dizzy doing this. Just go bigger and bigger. And once you reach the edge of the canvas, keep the same direction going, but bring it back in. Right into the middle. Let's change direction now and start to go bigger again. Nice work, and bring it back into the middle, getting smaller and smaller, right the way into the end. Let's change direction, go one more time on each way, so you get that circle going bigger and bigger again. Reaching the end of your canvas, bringing it back into the middle, right the way into the end. Change direction, getting that spiral going bigger. then back into the middle with that there. And right the way to the end. Good. So it's a nice way just to relax off that neck after the stretches. Let's move into the rest of our spine now. So we'll start with our flexion extension here. Much like we did with the neck looking up and down, we're going to curl forwards with the spine like a prawn or a shrimp, and then we arch back like a high jumper going over a pole and going back and forth between the two here. And you might find on the first one, two, or few that it takes a little bit just to get into it, so you might just go shorter range of motion. So just ease into it, and as you do, you might get a little bit more range of motion. But just take it easy, there's no rush here. Good work, everybody. Just nice and easy going back and forth between the two here. And see if you can extend it maybe a little bit more. Not if it's causing you any pain, of course, but try and curl over maybe just a little bit more. Arch back a little bit more. Only if you're able to, though. Don't overextend yourself if it causes you any pain or discomfort. Good work. Let's go into our rotation now. Go on one side and the other, and again it may be just a short range of motion to begin with, but we can pick that up and go a longer range if you're able to after a few. Good work. Okay, let's go into our lateral flexion now. That's reaching down to one side, reaching down to the other. Nice and simple back and forth between the two. And as always with this, we want to make sure we're not leaning forwards or backwards. Imagine you've got like a pane of glass in front and behind you, and you're sort of slipping down between the gap between the two. Good work, and then let's go into some rotation round, like we're in a whirlpool. Change direction. And easing it off there. Nice work. Let's grab ourselves a drink. And we will move into doing some yoga work for this next part coming up. Really great work so far, everybody. Let's just move into doing some of our yoga. As we're nearer the beginning of these block of sessions, we're going to start nice and basic for those who are new, and then we'll build up over the next few weeks as well. So we have our starting position, which is going to be bent forwards, reaching down towards the floor. So that's our starting position. If you're not familiar with this, you can just watch for the first one or two and then join in when you're ready. But from here, we come up with a flat back to about a 45-degree angle. I'm using my wheelchair just to hold on, but you can use your arms on your lap if that's easier. And then you come back down again. And then this time when you come up, instead of coming up with this flat back, we curl up. And stacking those vertebrae on top of each other. So the neck's still looking down right to the last minute. And then we're sitting up. So this is the basic movement of, the basic foundation of all the yoga movements that we do from here. So let's go back down to the starting position. So reaching down towards the floor in this position. And that's the starting position there. Using your arms to assist if you need to. Come up with a flat back to 45-degree angle. Then coming back down again. And then the next time you come up, we're curling up. Sitting up nice and tall, neck finishes the movement. If you're okay with that, feel free to carry on. I'm just going to explain a little bit more about that curling up phase. So if you are curling up, you can imagine your spine there, almost like a slinky, and it's curled over, and it's sitting up vertebrae by vertebrae, stacking on top of each other, and the neck finishes the movement. You can imagine the vertebrae on a skeleton you'd see in biology class, and each one is coming up almost like you're moving one individually, and it all sits on top of each other. So that's how I kind of want you to imagine, not sitting up straight, but curling up, so eventually you are straight. Cool. I'm going to come back to the starting position again, and just moving through that. So it's up with a flat back down, curling up, sitting up nice and tall, and back to the starting position. Up with a flat back down, curling up, sitting up nice and tall. Good work. We are going to add in another little bit now. So as you curl up, palms together, much like we did earlier, reaching up, out and around, and then all the way back down to the starting position again, coming up with that flat back, moving back down, curling up the second time, palms together, reaching up, out, around, and down again. Good work. Up with a flat back down, curling up, palms together, reaching up, out, around, and all the way down. Good work, everybody. Keep moving through that in your own pace as well. Don't feel like you need to stick with the speed that I'm going. Good work. Okay, we're going to add in another little bit here now. So we're going to come up, out, and around. And then when we get to here, which is parallel to the ground, we'll rotate round to the left. We'll rotate around to the right. I haven't got much room here. And then we come back to the middle. And then we go back to the starting position. I'll go from the beginning again. So it's coming up with that flat back to 45-degree angle. Going back down again. Curling up the second time. Palms together, reaching up, out, and around, and stopping at parallel. Rotate to the left. Rotate to the right. Back to the middle. And back down again. Good work. Up with that flat back. Moving back down. Curling up. Palms together, reaching up, out, and parallel. Rotate to left. Rotate to right. Back to the middle. And back down again. Keep moving through this, nice and gentle. Good work. And let's do a couple more here. Just keep going at your own pace. Nice, gentle, controlled movements. Doing the best range of motion you can. Good work, easing out of it there. We're just going to do some shoulder rotations just to ease out of it a little bit more. Doesn't matter which direction you go. But whichever direction you did go, let's change and go the opposite way. And give that a bit of a shake off there. Good work, everybody. We've got quite a bit of time left, so we're going to move into one more little part before we do our meditation. We're just going to do some breathing, going in through the nose, out through the mouth to start with. We do a little bit of a basic introduction to our Tai Chi movements here. So although we don't specifically do Tai Chi, because there are some specific movements that include steps, we're doing our version of it, taking the principles and some of the arm movements and sort of creating our own version of it here. So to do this, we just take the hands and we raise them up to our eye level, and then we bring them back down. And we just repeat through that to begin with. So it's nice flowing movements. And what I want you to focus on is that it isn't moving up then down, it's moving up and down. So it's just one fluid movement. So the change of direction at the bottom and at the top is flowing. Good work. We're going to continue a similar theme here, but instead of going just straight up and down, we're going to come first of all up to the front and then back down. This time we're going to bring it over to the left side slightly, so rotate, bring both hands to the left and back down, back to the middle again and back down, and you probably guess what's next, over to the right side and back down, back to the middle, and repeat through these movements, so going left, middle, right, middle, left, middle, right, middle. And again, in your own pace, there's no rush here, just nice, gentle movements. Flowing the hands up and down, one fluid movement. Even when we're changing direction to the left or the right, it remains one fluid movement, like a river. Just keeps flowing down. Good, well, let's ease those arms down now. That one can even be a little bit tiring for the arms, just because we're doing a lot of movements, a lot of holding within the shoulders, and that's fine. But now we're going to relax ourselves off and go into some meditation work. So nice deep breathing, going in through the nose and out through the mouth. Try and make that out breath go longer than the in breath. And now we're going to do a little bit of a guided meditation where we go through a forest scene. So the idea of this is that we're going to rely on each of our senses as we do this. So I'm going to get you to picture a scene in a minute, and I'll guide you through how we do this. We'll first use our visual, try and imagine what we would see, and then we'll start to go into the other senses like sounds, smells, touch, etc. just to build much more of a rich scene. This is all to do with just calming yourself. And like I said in the beginning, when we tell ourselves to not focus on something, we tend to be really good at focusing on it. So instead what we do is focus on something, and that makes us really good at just blocking everything else out. And that is the intention behind this meditation that we do. We hyper-focus using all of our senses, and that helps us to really block out everything else that's going on around us and to help us to relax, bring the nervous system down, calm everything down. And that helps with stress, helps with anxiety, helps with loads of different situations. So it's a skill that you can take into other parts of your day if necessary. But let's focus on this right now. So I just want you to just relax into where you are, nice comfortable position. And I just want you to start opening up a scene within your mind of a forest or a woods or whatever it is. And this can be one that you're familiar with. It can be one that's sort of made up with some familiar locations, or it can be a complete fantastical one of your own imagination, or something you may be seen in a movie, or it doesn't matter. What matters is that we get as much detail in as possible. So imagining the trees, imagining the plants, seeing the colours of those, the greens, the browns, maybe even there's some cherry blossom and there's some pink petals flowing around. Whatever it is, we just start to imagining this scene, picturing those colours, picturing the light as well as it comes through those leaves. Maybe the sun is scattered over the forest floor. Maybe there's a path. Maybe there's ferns and bushes and small plants or flowers on the floor. Maybe there's also wildlife as well there, birds, deers, whatever it may be. Just start to picture your scene in your mind, how you imagine it. Really get into the details of it as well, imagining the bark on the trees, imagining what the texture of the leaves would look like. Picturing how the scene moves as well, if there's a wind coming through, if there's rustling in bushes. Let's start to open up another sense now. Let's start to get our sense of sound in there as well. So keep that scene within your mind, but just start imagining what it sounds like. Imagining what the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves might be. Imagine the chirping of the birds if you have any there. And let's start to get our sense of temperature as well. So just imagine kind of what it feels like there. Maybe there's a fresh, cool breeze flowing through. Maybe it's a warm summer's day. It's warming up your skin. But only on those patches that come through the trees, maybe. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. It's just focusing on this scene. Let's start to imagine our sense of touch as well. So with this one, I almost want you to reach out into your mind, into your scene, and maybe start to touch something, whether it's a leaf, whether it's the tree, whether it's the ground, whatever it may be within your scene. Just imagine what that feels like. Start to get a really good detailed picture in your mind of it actually being there. We've still got our other senses, we've still got our vision, we've still got our sense of sound, still got the temperature. We're just employing that sense of touch now as well. Good. Let's start to remove that sense of touch and start to slowly back from the other senses too, as the scene starts to close without our mind's eye. Keeping the eyes closed in this moment, I just want you to notice how you feel. I know for myself in this moment, even with instructing it, I'm very still, very calm. The nervous system is down, much more relaxed in my posture, my positioning. And that's exactly what we want from these type of sessions, just to help us to calm, relax, bring that base level down. And the more times that we can be in this position through our day, our week, the lower our stress levels will be, the lower the anxiety will be, all of that kind of stuff. It really helps just to find ways to relax in our day to day. And hopefully this is just one part of your week that you can do it. But feel free to do this at any time. Whether you feel stressed or not, whether you feel anxious or not, it doesn't matter. Just focusing on bringing yourself back to this scene. Whilst we've got our eyes closed there as well, let's thank ourselves for being here today, for being present through the session and doing it to the best of our ability. So when you're ready to, you can start to open up your eyes, bring yourself back to the room as we bring today's session to a close. Thanks again for joining me this week.